I've been given. Like, I've been given. Like,
people, deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on. As the big man Ian Wright just said there, people, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time, whoever you are and wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. Now, as usual, and as I always say, I hope you and your loved ones are blessed. I hope you're all in good health. To my regular supporters, viewers, and general supporters of the channel, appreciative. You know, words can't put into action, or however you would formulate that sentence, how much I love you guys and how much it means a lot to have you lot support. I do have one request and just a simple favor: get the creative juices flowing and make sure you're commenting when the video's done, also when it premieres, and please hit the like button. You know, we're getting some motion with the YouTube algorithm. We're flirting with 60,000. See, once we get 60,000, then the journey to 70 can really begin. I have to do it on my own, and that I have to put in the legwork, but I can't do it alone, people, and that's where you lot are concerned. I'm like Declan Rice, you lot are David Raya, Gabriel Saliba. In fact, I can't lie, I'm Starboy, I'm Saka, but you know, when I'm not performing like against Porto, you lot get me out of danger. But away from them shenanigans, people, let's go over everything that's currently concerning Arsenal. Now, I know you lot know this already, but we've been drawn against Bayern Munich in the Champions League last 8, you know, after a 14-year drought and, you know, a couple of years flirting in the Europa League under Mikel Arteta, and the players were now back. You know, for us football fans or football fans of Arsenal, this isn't uncharted waters in that we've been in the Champions League before, not won it. Oh, we can win it. It'd be a dream to beat Bayern Munich and then beat Madrid or City and win that Wembley, but the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. But for the vast majority of our players and the manager, there's transferable experience. Obviously, Arteta's playing days. Some people have played in high pressurized environments or played/won European competitions before, with the Jorginhos, the Kai Havertz and Declan Rices, and maybe Partey and these guys that have played in the El Nene as well. But collectively as a club or as this squad, we ain't done that. So it's going to be a big ask, regardless of where Bayern Munich currently are in their domestic table. It's Bayern Munich. Thomas Tuchel's won the competition and been to 2 finals. So yeah, Edu has described the draw as beautiful, people. He said it's a beautiful game to play. We are going to be playing against a team that are very experienced in the competition, and players they have are amazing, but we have good momentum. Hopefully the momentum continues in April. We are really excited to face them and see if we can go through. The way the players in the team are performing is very exciting. We are playing at our best at the moment, so let's carry on playing the way we are playing and see how far we can go. Amen. He then said it's a privilege to be here. There are a lot of big clubs here, so we'll have to do our very best to deliver and carry on in the competition. It's the quarterfinals of the Champions League. There'll be a lot of fantastic players on the field, and I'm sure it'll be a great atmosphere in both stadiums. We got to make the home tie count because Bayern Munich fans can't travel. We'll do our best and try everything to get through to the next phase. Then he said, why not, when asked about potentially going all the way? We have to dream because of the way we are playing and performing and the momentum we have at the moment. This is a position we always have to be in because of the size of the club and the way we are, and it feels like we're back where we belong. Hopefully we can continue. If you didn't know, we'll play the first leg on the 9th of April at the Emirates. That will kick off at 8 p.m. The same game will kick off at 8 p.m. UK time in Germany, and obviously that we played on the 17th, people. And you know, Muller and Sev, I'm not going to sit here and read all of this to you lot, people, but the sporting directors, the players, whether it's Muller, Eric Dyer, and you know, prominent members at Bayern Munich have been nothing. They've given us nothing but praise. They sound confident and things like that. But yeah, as you can see here, we want to reach the semi-finals, even if Arsenal are among the top teams in Europe. They've improved in recent years, and now they have a balanced team with incredible attack incredible pace in attack. They play very attractive football as well. We're focusing and looking forward to these games. You look forward to these nights, and they're right. Like, oh, let's look forward to this. Puff out our chest, people. You know, the sporting director said it's going to be exciting. Neuer has given us respect, as has Thomas Muller, and Muller's been getting into it with Kai Havertz. Eric Dyer, I don't really care what you have to say, because how you're at Bayern Munich, how you've managed to fail upwards, I don't know, but that's how football's a funny old game of opinions. I don't rate Eric Dyer, but I'm sitting here on YouTube. He's rated by a man that's won the Champions League and Thomas Tuchel, and he's playing for Bayern Munich. It's crazy. But yeah, Thomas Tuchel, the manager, has said, we certainly have the most difficult path ahead of us that you can imagine. We now face one of the best teams in Europe. They've been playing consistently at the top level for 2 years. They're generous group. You know, I can't say that word, people. Dangerous team. They score a lot of huge goals. We'll be ready, though. We know our qualities. And to be fair, Thomas Tuchel is leaving Bayern Munich. So this, a bit like Jurgen Klopp leaving Liverpool, this could be a little bit of something that gives the players an extra kick up the bum to do things, people. So we'll have to see. You look at our heaviest defeats in European competition, they've all come in the Champions League. Milan have done us 4-0, and then I'm not going to get into the Bayern Munich stuff. You can see it there, people. So it is what it is. Odegaard has warned his teammates not to carry an inferiority complex going into that. And he said, to be honest, we can't think like that. It's the biggest tournament in the world, and no matter what team we get, it's going to be a good game, a good team, sorry. We'll just take what we get and we'll try to win it. That's where we want to be. We want to be on the biggest stage. We want to play the biggest games and fight for the biggest trophies. When I came here, I believed in the project, in the club, what they're doing, everything around the club. I believed in it, and now we're here doing well. Big him up. He's not lying, and he had a captain's performance in our last Champions League game. So hopefully we keep it going, people, really. And, you know, our neck from, well, better yet, from the 31st of March all the way to May, games are coming thick and fast. It's a tense April, really. You play City away, then you play Luton, then 3 days later you got Brighton, then you got Bayern Munich, then you got Unai Emery's Aston Villa on the 13th of April, which is my birthday. Bookmark that from now. Arsenal, if you're going to not win any game, don't lose on my birthday, please. Then we've got Bayern Munich away. Then we're probably going to be playing Chelsea at home. Then you've got Spurs. Assuming we go through against Bayern Munich, oof, Real Madrid, City, and these kind of teams. It's mad, but this is the life we wanted to live, folks. So we're going to have to keep going. So far, you know, we've got one of the best XGs in the competition. So that shows we're moving in a good direction. So we should be filled with confidence as to what we've been doing as a club, new kids on the block. We need to be wary. We need to realize that we're a good team. We need to go and be great. And we need to take the lessons we need to learn from Porto, because it was a bit over dramatic when you remove emotion. So we should be filled with confidence, have a healthy bit of complacency. Arsenal have announced the signing of Wales youth international Braden Clark. There has been rumours we're trying to aggressively bring in more youth talent, and the 16-year-old has joined us as a first-year scholar. He was previously at Wolverhampton. I think he's technically been a free agent. That's why he's been able to join mid-season. Never seen him play. Hopefully, the more I get to do my homework and see of him, I can give you a lot an informed opinion. But Braden and your family and loved ones, welcome to Arsenal, really. Hope you can progress all the way to the first team. If not, hope we can make a couple of million on you, people. So yeah, moving away from that, again, you know Benjamin White has signed a new deal, and Martin Odegaard has been filled with praise, as has his teammates and the manager, people. So yeah, big up Benjamin White. I'm happy you're here. I've never seen this keeper before, but you'd imagine Aaron Ramsdale's days at Arsenal, unfortunately, are numbered. Aston Villa and Real Betis allegedly are ahead of the race, ahead of Arsenal in the race for Las Palmas goalkeeper Alvaro Welles. Now, I don't know who Real Betis's keeper is, and I don't know if Emi Martinez is going to leave Aston Villa. But, you know, Arsenal, Aston Villa, both doing exciting projects, both got two top managers. Would you rather sit on the bench at Aston Villa or Arsenal with what we're doing and being in the Champions League? We need to kind of find, you know, if David Raya is our Edison, we need to find who his Ortega is. You know, you see the City keeper, he directly reflects what Pep Guardiola wants from him. There's been times Edison's form's been shaky and he's actually been dropped, or fans have called for him to be dropped, and Ortega's coming now. Clearly, Edison's a better keeper, but he's good enough to keep pushing Edison. Ortega's a good keeper, but he's good enough to keep pushing Edison. If there's any messing about that, you could be dropped. And we need to find that balance. Respectfully to Matt Turner with Ramsdale. Matt Turner was a good guy, a solid professional, but he just weren't that good of a keeper. And where it came to playing out from the back, he didn't really reflect in the minimal appearances he had what Mikel Arteta demanded. And there's a gulf in class. I'm not saying Ramsdale isn't an absolute professional. I'm not saying Raya doesn't push Turner doesn't push him in training. But at least for this season, for example, you know, Raya knows if he messes about, Ramsdale can come in. You know, if Ramsdale gets to spot back, and definitely not after the Brentford shenanigans, he knows you've got an international keeper breathing down your neck, people. So yeah, we've been linked with him. Keeping up the theme with American goalies, another keeper I don't have an informed opinion on, but we've been linked with the 23-year-old USA goalkeeper Patrick Schulte. I can't pronounce his name. Apparently, he's been on Arsenal's radar after catching the eye with Columbus Crew, having been selected in the MLS Super Draft in 2022 and breaking into the first team, and as a result has attracted interest from European clubs. Don't care where the keeper's from, country, whatever, just as long as he fits the philosophy of what Arteta demands, people, because we've already spent 27 million based as jumping ahead in the summer for Raya. We need to bring in a backup goalie, so 2 keepers technically will be signed in the summer, and I'm sure we'd all love another defender or defensive body. I'm sure most Arsenal fans would love a midfielder, a winger, a striker, or at least covering the guys that can play in a couple of these roles. So we'll have to see, people. But again, another keeper I haven't got an informed opinion on, but if he's 23 years of age, he grows with the team as well, really and truly. Smith-Rowe wants to stay at Arsenal and fight for his place. Now, that is music to my ears. Allegedly, that's what Ben Jacobs has said on the 23-year-old. His season has followed on from last year, and that there's a lack of football, consistent injuries, and question marks over his future. He has been linked with Aston Villa, has been linked with West Ham, still being linked with Newcastle. 2 years left on his deal. It's a decisive period in the 23-year-old's, future at this moment in time. So we'll have to see. Ben Jacobs has said, I don't think the writing's on the wall because not much has changed since a lot of links in January. Things can change very quickly. And even last summer, we know that Aston Villa looked, and some say West Ham are monitoring the situation as well. But every time there's been interest in Smith-Rowe, even when he's been out and not playing, it's always been clear from the players' camp that he wants to stay and fight for his place. Therefore, I don't think anything is premeditated at this point in terms of an exit. So if an offer's put on the table, maybe things happen. He counts as 100% profit. He's on the peripheral things. I don't think we can sell all of these English players in the Eddies, the Nelsons and Nketiahs, because we need to probably keep a couple for homegrown purposes. So yeah, people, but disposable goods, you could argue. We all know T in these days, unfortunately, are numbered at the club. So far, the club has secured £78 million from being in the Champions League. So it pays to do the right thing. This article goes against what we've just seen, and it actually says Arsenal are in fact willing to sell Smith-Rowe amid interest from Newcastle United, with the player unhappy with his lack of minutes. I mean, what player at Arsenal or at any other club, people, is going to be happy with not playing games? Everybody wants to play. I don't want him to be happy, really and truly. Apparently, we're hoping to recoup 45 million for him, which is great. And apparently, Newcastle are keen to strike a deal, a season-long loan with an option/obligation to buy in the summer of 2025 is a possibility. I mean, 45 million, I didn't think we'd be in a position to get that for Smith-Rowe, even though I think it's a fair price for his potential, but he's barely played, barely been able to stay fit. And it's a long way away from the form that saw him actually get the number 10 shirt and whatnot. So we'd have to see. Aston Villa are unconcerned by Arsenal's interest in Douglas Luiz. Aston Villa are adamant they are not facing financial pressure and do not believe they need to part ways with Douglas Luiz this summer. I would love Douglas Luiz at the carpet. I think he can play as 8 and a 6 like Declan Rice. He's Premier League proven. He's Brazilian. He's 25 years of age. We score a lot of goals from set pieces. Douglas Luiz is very good at taking such. So there's a lot to like about him, but I just don't think it's going to happen. This has also said Arsenal do remain keen on Luiz. Sources have told 90 Minute that the Gunners are exploring other moves this summer. Arsenal plan to sign a big striker with the likes of Ivan Toney, Victor Osimhen, Victor Gyokeres, and Joshua Zirkzee under consideration. And we've also still been linked with Zubimendi and his 60 million euros price tag or release clause in brackets 51 million. So we'll have to see that. I've alluded to it. Can't imagine you don't know. But once again, Benjamin White has signed a new long-term contract at Arsenal Football Club. Tab police, look away. We've got a lot. This was said by the Evening Standard, actually. Apparently, Liverpool and Arsenal were both interested in Mason Mount before his move to Man United. Jurgen Klopp touched base with him in January last year, and Arteta was reputedly telling confidence a deal was all but done. I wonder if we still would have got Kai Havertz, because we were, well, to me as a normal fan, we was linked with Mason Mount first, and then we was linked with Kai Havertz. So maybe that was a good plan B. Maybe we would have tried to sign both. I don't know, man. And it would have been keen to see how we would have deployed Mason Mount. Would he have been the partner to Declan Rice, the man there, with Odegaard ahead of them? Who knows? It's not for us. I never like to see players injured, so hopefully he can do things at Man United. But it seems like out of the people who left Chelsea, and I know it's reactionary, Kovacic, Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, we've got the best deal. Or he's gone on, Kai Havertz has gone on to become more of a prominent role at his new club. Kovacic is on the peripheral things. He hasn't really, half of Man City summer signings ain't really set the world alight. Really and truly, the biggest highlight of Kovacic in the City shirt, in my opinion, is he should have been sent off for tackles on Declan Rice and Odegaard at the Emirates. Mount's not been able to stay fit, so he's irrelevant. And after a tough teething and bedding in period, Kai Havertz has gone from strength to strength. The jury's still out, but he's doing his thing. Super Mikel Arteta, big up yourself. Romano on Eddie Nketiah has said, Arsenal fans are also asking me about Eddie Nketiah's situation as he's not playing a lot at the moment. There have been some rumours about a possible exit in the summer. I'm told it could be one to watch, but honestly, West Ham have not started any concrete talks at this stage, and it's very early on. Nketiah is 100% focused on Arsenal, but it could change in the case of a new striker joining. I mean, Reece Stell said Eddie Nketiah, Smith-Rowe, West Ham, talk to us. You want any of these players? I'll have a Paqueta. I don't mind Bowen. After that two great goals in the Europa League, Kudus, a player that allegedly Arsenal were looking at. Boy, let's get some bartering going, man. We can make a deal happen, really and truly. You just got to believe. Arsenal have made Sporting forward Victor Gyokeres their number one summer target. Allegedly, he has an £85 million release clause. Apparently, owing to financial issues, Barcelona could sell Rafinha. He's been linked with a move to the Middle East, and rumours of a move to Arsenal and Liverpool still won't go away. 65 million fee that Barcelona paid for him. I can't see any club, chomping at the bit to give them their money back. Once again, Victor Gyokeres links Arsenal and Chelsea are both still being linked with the 25-year-old. I don't think he'll go for 85 million quid, but you never know in this day and age. Victor Osimhen remains strong, but Arsenal aren't ahead of Chelsea in the race to sign him. Allegedly, Romano has said, guys, there's nothing new on Victor Osimhen so far, despite reports that Arsenal are ahead of Chelsea in the race to sign him. There's no moving ahead because it's not a proper race. There's no negotiation with Napoli as there's a release clause. So it's about paying that money, reaching an agreement with Osimhen. At the moment, no club is close to that. Interest from various clubs has been there for months, but at the moment, we're not any further along in this story. He's been linked with actually PSG, Arsenal, Newcastle in the last 24 hours, as well as Chelsea and just about anybody, people. So we'll have to see what's going on there. Charles Watts has said, I do expect Arsenal to sign a midfielder this summer. A lot will depend on what happens with midfielders they currently have. Ideally, they would like Jorginho to stay, and then they have to sort out Thomas Partey's future. Partey still has a year left on his deal, and just like last summer, Arsenal would not stand in his way of leaving should decent offers arrive. Should that happen, then they would have to replace him, and Martin Zubimendi is a player they believe can play the Partey role. Arteta knows Zubimendi well and is a big admirer, but there is uncertainty around whether he actually wants to leave Real Sociedad. There's also expected to be strong rival interest, so it might not be an easy deal to get done. So we'll have to see where Zubimendi is concerned. Again, Charles Watts has weighed in on the striker stuff. It's no secret that Arsenal want to sign a striker this summer. When the window opens, it will be a priority along with a midfielder and a potentially another wide attacker. It will be interesting to see whether they move for Osimhen. He's a player they like, and I know that his reps have visited Arsenal's training ground for talks with Arteta. Those talks took place in the summer when Arsenal eventually signed Gabriel Jesus. Jesus was always the priority that year, but Osimhen was definitely a player they viewed as a serious alternative. That interest will remain, but he could prove too costly an option in the summer. Arsenal want to spread their budget around, so they'll look to take the squad to the next level. We'll have to see where that's concerned. And again, carrying on with the Zubimendi stuff. Apparently, Arsenal are working on a wage package for Zubimendi ahead of a potential summer move. We're told the Gunners plan to offer the Sociedad midfielder a 5-year deal and a salary of 115,000 a week, in brackets 135, which will be double the money, people. So maybe that helps us in the race against Bayern Munich, Liverpool, and Barcelona to signing people. And again, Eddie Nketiah, Smith-Rowe, and Nelson are all potential exits, along with Aaron Ramsdale, and their futures won't be sorted at this moment in time. We're being linked with Eintracht Frankfurt forward Omar Marmoush. Again, the 29-capped Egypt international moved to Frankfurt on a free transfer from Wolfsburg and is now valued at 15 million by the club. He's got 15 goals and 6 assists across 32 appearances, and he's 25. So naturally, he would flag up on the radar as one of the best performing kind of strikers or informed guys. I'm not really keen on him, but who knows? I don't care who the player is. Just make sure we sign a forward and they can help us take us to the next level. We've been linked with a 19-year-old who plays for Rennes, and he's done quite well, actually, people, really and truly. Balassian, can't say his name, but I've been watching French League. I don't think he's a replacement for Gabriel. I think he's someone that we're looking at. He's young, he's impressionable, and he comes into the squad. But when you've burst into the first team, you're going to be linked with Arsenal. So I don't read too much into that currently, folks. Moving on, Charles Watson Onana said he could be one to watch out for. There are a lot of links with him in January. I was told at the time there was nothing concrete in the speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's someone Arsenal look at when the season ends. So the race for a midfielder is going to keep going. Can't imagine Brentford are happy with Ivan Toney. You know, apparently he said, and it was a bit of tongue in cheek, a bit of a joke. He said, another interview by him, mind you, if Brentford was to sell me, they would make their money. I moved to Madrid and it's all good. Fair enough. But I don't think people will be happy with how you're portraying yourself. Tomiyasu has not been called up to the Japan national squad for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. People still hasn't fully recovered from his injury. And we're going to need you for this running. You know, it's a bit of a joke, but Kylian Mbappe was asked by a fan if he joined Arsenal and he said it's too cold over there. So that pours cold water on such. Ben White is those at Arsenal say more likely to keep an injury a secret rather than face losing his place in the team. Teammates have been keen to make the point that White does love football, contrary to suggestions, and he's one of those who sees the game as a living rather than a passion. Fair enough, because you're doing bloody good at your living. Arsenal and Chelsea, as well as Newcastle, are still being linked with FC Deutschland youngster Mario Dorgales. Never seen him play before, people, but he's Ivorian. He's described as an exciting player. If he's got the potential, bring him through. But for an informed opinion, I'm the wrong person to be looking at. Arsenal are apparently looking at signing Real Madrid's Brahim Diaz, who can play as a right winger. Obviously, if everybody's fit at Real Madrid and when Endrick and Mbappe sign, his game time, he might struggle. But what is better than Real Madrid? He's played for Man City before. I don't know if he counts as homegrown. I think he's actually switched from representing Spain to Morocco now as well, people. So with AFCON, I think they're moving that to the summer, but that could be something. But he's a player I would like in the squad. He's quite exciting. Depends on the fee. I'm not sure on 60 million quid, but fair enough, people. The report adds that Arsenal have made an offer of 70 million euros in brackets 60 million for Diaz ahead of the summer transfer window. And Real Madrid president Florentino Perez must decide whether to sell or retain him. Arsenal are interested in the former Man City player who was at the Etihad Stadium during Arteta's time as a City assistant. After showing in recent weeks that he is prepared to be one of Real Madrid's leading players, and he has stepped in, he has done well, but game time, you know, really. And I couldn't begrudge him if he doesn't want to leave. So let me know your thoughts on any of our homegrown players leaving, what you think on Onana, on Osimhen, on signing a striker, a winger, on Diaz and Bayern Munich and Ben White's new deal, and everything we've discussed across this video. Again, please make sure you're smashing the like button, you're commenting, you're subscribing, you're turning on your notification bells, because there's always content. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed. One love.
There's always just that active red flag.
Defending.
I think it's like